It also ties a little bit in with what we talked to before with gratitude and
Yeah.
manifestation. So, for the people that are watching, when you say money is energy, what can they do? What do? Will you share a little bit about that?
Absolutely. So if you believe you are meant for more money, then it's coming. It's about the manifestation. Thank you for where I am. Thank you for this opportunity. Thank you for the money coming my way. I don't care how silly or ridiculous you think you sound when you say it out loud. You lose nothing except 5 words. You lose nothing except 10 seconds to say words out of your mouth. And once you start believing that, that's when it starts flowing to you. When you say, I'll never have enough money, you're right. You're telling the universe, I don't want enough money. I don't want enough money for this. I want to struggle with this. I want to be a victim of this for the rest of my life. When you start saying, I'm going to do it and I don't care where the money comes, it'll flow to me. It literally will flow to you. And that's for everyone. Everyone can think of a time where they'd say, I don't think I have enough money, or I want more money, or I'm going to work harder. It doesn't matter. It came to you on some level. We just forget it because it's so not structured, but nothing in spirit is structure. Have you ever said, I need 20 more dollars, and then somehow you get 20 more dollars, or you get a 10 and then you find, I don't care what it is. That's that law of attraction. That's raising your energy. I also believe if you truly believe that you were meant for bigger with money, and take your ego out of it. You have got to release your ego.
My guest today is Jennie Marie, but you might know her better as Mama Medium, the star of the TLC show, where she has a trifecta of gifts, including mediumship, an empathic ability, and the ability to see the future. She is a fourth generation medium, and she wants you to live this life like it is your last one. So, Jennie Marie, welcome. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate being here.
You have no idea how excited I was to see your name on my calendar. So, I have to tell the audience a fun story. When I was married, I was on this spiritual path, and my husband at the time was really agnostic. He didn't know what he believed much of anything. And then he read a book by Eben Alexander, who I interviewed on this show. He had a near death experience, and there was enough science and evidential information that he decided he believed that there was more to what was happening. He started to believe in my signs. So we had gotten divorced, and I moved to Arizona. And one day he called me and he's like, Lore, you have got to watch this show. And it was Mama Medium.
Stop.
I'm not kidding you. I swear to God. So when I do these interviews, I actually have somebody, an assistant, who will reach out and get guests for me. I did not know until this afternoon who I was interviewing today. I have to admit that I feel a
Nice.
little starstruck because I binge watched your show after he
Yes.
told me about it. This has been several years ago, but I really can't tell you how excited I am to talk to you today.
Well, I appreciate that more than you know. Please don't be starstruck. I think it's amazing about where he was to where he is now. I don't know. I love that. It's not about me, but I love that whole spiritual journey in there.
I do too. And I just thought it was so cool that I hadn't found you yet because I knew eventually I would find you. It's kind
Mm,
of what I do and what I look at, but he found it and called me.
I love it. I love it. That's cute.
So, you are a medium, and your
Mhm.
journey began long before you entered this planet since you are fourth generation. So, will you
Mhm.
tell me a little bit about what it was like growing up with all these mediums and psychics around you?
Yeah. Okay. So, first of all, raised old school Italian Catholic. So it wasn't something we talked about all the time. It was never using the word psychic or medium. It was I'm not even saying intuition. It was our gut. Like we just knew things. Like if my mom asked me a question, she already knew. If my grandma asked me a question, they already knew. And it was never you question how or what. It was okay. We never. again, we didn't ever talk about it like that. My great uncle was a priest, and it was his mom, my great grandmother that came from Italy, that read tea leaves and was gifted, but no one talked about it. No one told me. She died before I was born. That's how come I'm named Jenny. I'm named after her. But her son, the priest, always used to say to me, "You and I are more connected than you know." And I thought, I'm never going to be a nun. I don't know what you're talking about. It's not my jam. I knew at 8 I was not going to be a nun. However, I didn't realize that he was gifted and went into the priesthood because there's good and evil. So apparently he had had some evil experiences. Actually, at the time that he was ordained, he was only one of 500 priests in the United States. I think the world actually to be ordained in exorcisms. So we didn't really like talk about that part about it, but we talked about intuition. I have chills right now when I'm saying this. And so my mom has a twin, and they have the twin connection, plus they're intuitive. They are clairaudient, so they have dreams. Again, we're never talking about psychic or medium. We're talking about, oh, Aunt Jeannie and my mom had a dream again. It was always like, ooh, if they had the dream, it was happening. Or, again, we never talked about it like that. It was just, we knew we were different. Um, and when you put one high vibration with another one, you all raise each other. So of course we're all gifted and we're all seeing, but we all see different things. Like my mom and my aunt see negative things where I promised myself I didn't want the gift. I was like, I don't want it. I don't want to see it. They see divorces, car accidents, cancers. I never in my life wanted to have anything to do with it. I fought it. I pushed it. I was 7 when I saw my first dead person, but I thought I was an imaginary friend. I was 12 when I started to see the future, but I thought it was anxiety. I know it sounds so silly. And then as things progressed, I kind of told my mom, she gave us the Ouija board to scare us. Didn't work. The Ouija board worked. It didn't scare us. It was amazing. We only pulled positive, but I think it's about the energy that you pull. We could talk about that. So I dabbled in it again, never using the word psychic or medium. It was, you guys should go to Jenny's and play the Ouija with Jenny. Like it was, and it was fun. And we lost a classmate when we were 11 to leukemia, and she came through every time and gave us messages for her mom. And we would go back and tell the mom, and the mom said, "I don't care where you got these from. Please don't stop." I have chills head to toe right now. So that was kind of our experience with Ouija, and it was kind of fun. Even though we heard all the taboo about it, and I was raised Catholic, so it was like the Bible was out, the rosary was out, like we were praying nonstop. Then I kind of like let it go. My mom and my aunt started getting stronger. And my mom always told me I'd never be as strong as her, and I didn't want it. So I kind of ignored it. I was like, fine, I'm gonna go do my own thing. I'm gonna go live my life. Well, that turned out sideways, and my intuition was so strong during that time. And this is such a silly thing to say, but I remember praying and saying, "Okay, God, if you get me out of this marriage, I will use my gift." So I always tell people I sold my soul to God, but it's so stupid because it's already yours. You know how it is, but
I
it's so
love
funny, right?
that.
It's not my soul, but you know it. We're already sold. But anyway, so from that moment on, it was so strong. And then I started working on it and asking and sitting in gratitude and getting stronger and stronger and stronger. And to the point where it was like, whoa, I had no idea. I thought maybe I would know a couple things. And then it kind of came out more and more. Like my grandparents, they were my jam, like they raised me. My grandma used to say, "You're too pretty. Stop telling people you're a psychic. You're too pretty to be psychic." And I was like, what the hell does that mean? I don't know what that means. But back then, it was so taboo, right? It was crystal balls, it was cats. So my grandma was like, "Stop telling people that." And my grandpa would tell me these stories about my great grandmother that I never met. She read tea leaves. People would come to the house. They were sick. She would heal them. But like it was so like we just didn't talk about it all the time, but we just knew, if that made sense. So now that I have these 4 boys, we talk about it constant. They are gifted. I'm trying to help them on their gifts when they're ready. I'm not pushing it, but we all have these different gifts, but we all know that it came from a line. I make the joke, it's like diabetes. It's going to get me.
Get you.
I have the genetic gene for diabetes. It's going to get me.
Oh my gosh, this is so fascinating. One of the things that really caught my attention is that you said when you were 12, you saw the
Mm,
future and you thought it was anxiety. Will you share what you
mm,
saw and what happened to
sure.
you?
I apparently was a very high strung child. Obviously, I'm contributing it to past life. I think I died early in a past life. I honestly think I died at 7 in a past life, and that's when I started seeing dead people here. It's like this weird correlation for me. But anyway, so at 12, I just was high strung. I was anxious all the time. And at 12, I was a soccer player, and we were on our way to a soccer game. and I get extreme motion sickness. So I have to sit forward and the windows are down. And, all my friends are like meeting in the middle of the aisle. And I couldn't turn that way because I would get sick. So I was just close my eyes for a second. And I have chills. I remember this clear as day. And I remember seeing on the soccer field a circle of our players and an ambulance. And I remember going through the circle and I couldn't find me. So I immediately woke up or opened my eyes and I told my friend Sarah, I'm like, Sarah, listen, something's going to happen. I'm going to get hurt. I'm going to get hurt. I'm not playing. I'm not playing. I got to tell coach. She's like, calm down. You're fine. You're making it up. You're just car sick or no, whatever it was. And I'm like, you know what? You're right. You're right. And I'm like, I don't know. Something doesn't feel right, Sarah. I don't like it. I'm going to get hurt. And she's like, you're fine. So they're all making fun of me. So I must have just been that way. I don't remember too much of childhood. Anyway, fast forward, we go to the game. I have released it. I never go to the bathroom in the middle of the game. Fourth quarter, I went to the bathroom. I came back. There was the circle, the ambulance. Chrissy Cooper broke her ankle.
That's
And
why
I
you weren't
remember
there
going,
because you went to the bathroom.
right, but I didn't know. I didn't know what was happening. I was freaking out. And I remember praying. I remember praying the Hail Mary on the way home, like, thank you, it wasn't me. I'm sorry it was you, Chrissy. This whole thing. But I will never forget. I remember what team we played and what color they were because it was so traumatic for me. And then from that moment forward, I remember getting these little glimpses, not deja vu, different things that would happen. I'm like, ooh, that's coming. And it wasn't bad. That one was, but it wasn't all bad. It would just be the craziest things. Like I would know names before I'd meet people, or I'd go into Wegmans and then meet someone. Wegmans is a grocery store. Sorry. I'd go into this grocery store and then meet someone with that same name that I heard before I walked in. I'm like, this is weird. But I was a teenager and we're playing Ouija. So then I'm like, is there a demon attached? I mean, I went down this whole rabbit hole for a long time. But I also thought, was it just anxiety? Am I just so anxious that I'm hypersensitive to the things around me?
That's interesting. So you almost had like this undeveloped ability that you're doubting as it's
Sure.
happening, but that was when you were younger. As
Yeah.
you've gotten older, have you found ways to kind of connect to it and understand how it works and then really believe what you're seeing as you have had things come to fruition?
Well, it's my job now. It's
It
my
is your
full-time
job
job. So
now.
yes, it's my full-time job. Yes, but it took a lot of trusting the process, a lot of trusting myself, a lot of asking for validation. I mean, we all want validation on a daily basis. I had to really dive into, okay, I know what that means. Okay, this makes sense. I've asked, 4 times, Spirit, show me what I'm supposed to know. God, angels, where is everyone? I need more. I tell my clients now and my students, you're allowed to ask for a sign of your sign. So ask for a sign of your sign. I'm getting this, but how do I know it's my gut? How do I know I'm not making it up? How do I know? I felt like it was a whole process, a lot of meditation, a lot of meditation that would make me live in the moment so I could get the clearest answer. Because when you're living in the moment, there's no anxiety. You can't go backwards, you can't go forward. It's that moment. So in that moment, when I'm receiving these things and seeing it, I'm saying, okay, then this is just part of who I am and I need to embrace it.
I want to repeat something you just said because
Oh
when I
boy.
started this channel, I released a series of videos called Uncover Your Soul's Purpose, What You Don't Know Is Holding You Back. And the number one most popular video on this channel for years was one I did about signs. People definitely came to this channel because of signs. And you said something that I haven't heard somebody say this way, and I loved it. And you said, it's okay to ask for a sign for your sign. And since people seem to have a big curiosity around this, will you elaborate just a little bit more about how you then understand the sign for your sign?
So I believe that spirit will give us signs 100 times a day. I don't think it's one thing. I don't think it's one thing and it comes every day at the same time. I don't care what our sign is. I think it's the when. I think when you're saying, hey, I really miss you, like my grandma, I really miss you, grandma. Can you give me a sign? I don't get cardinals. I know that everybody wants a cardinal. That's okay. That's fine. To me, it's the cardinal that pays attention to you, that screams at you, that, flies at your face, that makes it a point to see it. It's the when. I don't care what the cardinal is. But let's say you sit there and you say, oh, I see this cardinal every day. So you're going to ask for a sign of your sign. What's my signier sign? And then I start seeing, I have chills right now. My grandma gives me 77s. So if I see a 77, I'm like, okay, I got you. But I asked for it. So first of all, you gave me a cardinal to say you're here, but I'm not really sure because I see the cardinal every day. I don't, but I'm just saying hypothetically. And then these 77s, which I do see all the time, that tells me my grandma's listening. I'm on the right path. She heard what I asked for. Let's say you want to go deeper. I need deeper. I need you to show me that it's really you. I'll hear her favorite song. I'll hear her name. Someone will approach me and be like, "Hi, I'm Rosemary. What's your?" I'm like, "Okay." I mean, it comes to the point if you're asking and are open-minded enough to realize that it doesn't have to be the one thing, you're going to get whatever sign you need. They are listening at all times.
I'm so glad you said that because I think that people feel bad when they want to ask for a sign for the sign because they feel
Yeah.
like they're doubting and not believing, but actually it's the opposite.
100%. It's saying, I believe you. I just need more. I need you to show me. I'm using the left side of my brain that's logistical. I need to know that I asked and I got it. Agreed. Agreed.
Exactly. Okay, that is super helpful. I hope everybody rewinds it and listens to that again if you're
Yes.
looking for more signs. So not only are you a medium, but you're also empathic. And I know that there are a lot of people who migrate to a channel like this because they do have these feelings. And I think that right now what's happening in the world is we're having this great awakening. Do
Yes.
you feel that?
Oh, hell
And can you
yes.
speak to it?
I believe I believe that most people are empathic. I believe that yes, since these past couple the pandemic, honestly, for me, I think people reverted inward, were forced to spend alone time, solitude, whether you had a big family or not. There were these moments of what's happening, fear, where am I going? How do I get there? How do I fix this? How do I change it? It's all about being in control, right? So what happens is when you become empathic is it's listening to the environment around you. I have chills right now. It's asking for validation. It's honoring that you have this feeling, this gut feeling, this intuition. You can feel other people's emotions. It's about you turning your trauma into how can I help others? Usually empaths, right, or healers. So I've been there. I can empathize with you. I get it. Now this is, and it's learning. I think as an empath, we're learning from other people for similar things that have happened. But 100%, I think collectively we're all doing it because I think collectively we're all raising each other's vibrations. And once one starts, the other starts. And then, right? So you and I today are raising each other's vibrations. And then whoever we talk to for the rest of the day, raise them. So I have chills really strong for that. So
I
I
love
feel
that.
like that's how it's going to continue to get stronger and bigger and better, actually.
That is something I talk actually a lot about on this show. I
Good.
really believe the purpose of this show is to help aid all of the people who are awakening to help raise the collective consciousness on
Amen.
the
Amen.
planet. So I think that these collaborative conversations are so much more than just somebody learning about you or sharing stories. It's about the energetic work that we're doing. So can you give everybody a tip who is listening of something that they could do that will impact their energy if they don't get to have a conversation like this?
Yeah. You mean just raise our energy?
Yeah, however you want to share.
Gratitude. Literally
Mhm.
sit for 30 seconds and say thank you out loud. Immediate. You are already raising your vibration because you're already saying, I'm thankful for where I am right now at this moment. I don't care what it is. I don't care how you feel. It's living in that moment. Literally just say thank you. Another one, step outside. I don't care if it's 12 seconds, 15 seconds, 18 seconds. Literally walk outside. It's a whole different vibration than it is inside of your house. You're changing all of that. Nature is its own, raising its own vibrations. If you can't do any of that, purge something. Take something from your desk and throw it away. Say, I no longer need this. This is old stored energy. I don't want it. I'm ready for new. I'm making room for more. Anything you can, I have chills. Anything you can do like that to release. It's all about releasing because you're making room for more, for bigger, for better.
Okay, I've heard a lot of people talk about gratitude. I've heard a ton of people talk about being in nature. You're the
Yeah.
first person to ever say purge something. And
Mm,
I love that with so much of how I am in the world as well, because I do feel like things hold us back and hold us
100%.
accountable. And they definitely affect our energy and getting rid of something. And it doesn't have to be like even throwing away. You could donate something, same way.
Agreed.
which is now combining gratitude with that purging.
So so to me it's a double entendre. So first of all, it's on my desk and it's taking space and I don't need it. So I don't want that energy. Second of all, you're telling your brain, okay, we're done with this. Whether we donate it, whether we don't, we have to tell our physical three-dimensional bodies, oh, you know what? I don't need this piece of paper anymore. I made notes on it from a month ago, but why is it still here? I don't need it. I'm gonna get rid of it because I gotta make room for more. And maybe these notes was from an amazing phone call. So what you're telling the universe is, this was a great phone call. I'm ready for more. I'm done with this one. Thank you. I'm ready for more. But your brain is like, yeah, bring it on, bring it on. So then everything, your mind, body, and soul is telling the universe, I'm ready for more. I want to vibrate higher.
I love that. That is really, really helpful for everybody
Oh,
watching.
good, good.
Okay. So it's one thing to be a medium and get these messages and have them for yourself. It's something different to begin sharing those and interpreting messages for other people. How in the world did that transpire for you?
It was the other way around. It was reading other people before I could read for myself.
Oh,
It was
interesting.
it was, you know what, at the time that it like really blew up, I was doing hair out of my house and I was a real estate agent. And I love people. I love energy. I'm empathic, right? Super empathic. I love their energy. I could feel when they needed a hug. I could feel like when they needed to release anger. So I was always, when you go to your hairdresser, I was always listening. But for some reason, spirit would talk through me and have like the best answers. Oh, I bet if you do this, or oh, I bet, and they'd be like, I just did that yesterday, or I just said that before I came, or how did you know? I'm like, I don't know. Let's have another martini. I don't know. Because we were in my house, so we just drank through the whole thing anyway. But it was always just coming. And then they kept coming back for like haircuts and trims and color. And I'm like, you were just here. I don't understand. And they're like, but what you were said was true. And I was like, what did I say? Like, because I'm not formulating it, right? So it was so much easier and it was very calm. It was just conversations we're having. And selling real estate is when the mediumship really kicked in, because so the psychicness and the empathic part is when I'm telling them advice about the future and what they should see, right? I mean, yes, there's mediumship in there, but that's those other gifts. The mediumship is when I would go to houses and I would walk in and see a past loved one, and I'd like, okay, all right, I think I'm gonna go wait outside. And I told my husband I can't keep walking in and seeing all these dead people approach me or talk to me or where they are at. I don't want that. I want to just sell the house, but it was so uncomfortable so many different times. And haunted houses, I guess you'd say, which just means presence of spirit. So I wasn't getting any messages for myself. I was confused. I was just doing my hair clients who were friends and selling real estate, but it got a little confusing and intricate and I don't know. I would ask for signs and messages, but I think I was so scared and closed off that they were going to say, "Hey, you are a medium." I don't know if I was prepared for that.
But it happened because eventually you became Mama Medium on TLC. So
Yes.
how in the world did you go from that to having this gift that you're sharing with the world on a actual TV show?
I worked on it. This is when I told you I sold my soul. I was like,
Sold your
okay, if
soul to
I'm supposed
God.
to do this, God, show me. A lot of meditation, a lot of asking for clarity. I'm very, very logistical. I'm very detail oriented. And this whole realm of being creative and living in the gray was very uncomfortable to me. So it was, somebody show me what I'm supposed to do. I would say, okay, if I have this gift, put somebody in my path that needs healing. And I would meet the craziest scenarios, the craziest people, the craziest things would happen. And where the words would come from, I don't know. We'd end up hugging and crying and becoming friends. Like, it was literally that crazy. And thinking, okay, maybe there is something. Like, I would go home and I would wake up with a song in my head and I would know the song, but I would look up what the lyrics meant. And it would be like coming into your own or healing. And I have chills right now. It was always a message inside of that. And I thought, okay, I'm not necessarily talking to dead people, not knowing that those were messages. But so I just went with it. This was the whole trusting the process, trusting my gut. Okay, maybe I am, but I need validation. And then working on it, and then saying to people, hey, I think I have this gift. Would you be interested in sitting with me for 15 minutes? I mean, it started very, very, very small in the salon in my house with my four little boys running around. But And then, praying a lot. I pray a lot. I believe in God. I don't believe there's a religion in heaven, but I do believe in this. So it was protect me, keep me safe, tell me I'm doing the right things. And, we've all met angels on earth. And I feel like angels have all come into our path, and high vibration and the right thing being said at the right time started to happen for me. And I started to notice it. And then believing and trusting and honestly witnessing with my own eyes, because my logistical brain, of the healing of some of the things I would say to people. And again, it's not me, Jenny, it's spirit, but using me and thinking, wow, maybe I really am a healer. And wow. And the TV show, I manifested that. So that wasn't, that was a whole nother scenario on its own thing that I never thought in a million years would happen. But I had a vision of it and I felt pulled, and I thought, well, how can I have this for someone else and encourage them to do it if I'm not using my own words? I mean, logistically in life, we always say your own advice is your best advice. How can I run from it while I'm telling somebody else to do the same thing?
Yeah, I get that. So how did you let's talk about manifesting, because this is such a big topic. People are very fascinated with how others do it, and I believe that when you share this wisdom, that other people will pick up on nuances and things that they can implement in their own lives. So, will you talk about your manifestation path?
Yeah, for sure. First and foremost, gratitude is the biggest for me. I always say thank you wherever I am. I'm telling the universe and God and angels, I know I'm here for a reason. Maybe I don't know what the reason is or where I'm going, but thank you for this moment. Thank you for letting me have the opportunity to manifest. Those are literally the words I say. That's it. And then, so manifesting the show, I don't know. It was like one day I had this urge, and I was like, I felt like I saw my family on TV. And I was like, that's crazy. I made that up. I ignored it for a little bit. Again, my own advice is my best advice, but I'm running from it. And I told my husband, I said, babe, I think we're supposed to have a reality show. And he was, no, absolutely not. We will be divorced. We're never putting our family through that. That's not what I signed up for. I never wanted to be that person. Absolutely not. And I thought, you're right. That's fair. I'm good. I'm good with that. I don't want to interfere with our family. And it just kept getting stronger and stronger. And I thought, I think we're really supposed to do this. And I could totally do this. What if I have so much healing out there? What if I'm supposed to? So what did I do? I said, okay, you keep showing it to me. I feel it. I'm ready. Show me what I'm supposed to do. Show me if it's mine. I went to a group reading one time. It was 5 couples. So there's 10 people. They're regulars. I drove all the way out there. And the one girl's brother had surprised her. And she's like, is it okay if he's here? I'm like, I don't care. He's supposed to have healing. I don't care. Apparently, I walked right in the door. I walked right up to him and I said, hey, we're going to work together. These were his exact words. Okay, weirdo. And I was like, oh no, why would I say that? I don't know his name. I don't know what he does, but I thought, I'll let Spirit do it. We do the whole reading. He gets a reading. Everyone got a reading. It was nothing. Afterwards, he said, why would you say that to me? I said, I don't know. I'm a psychic and a medium. This is what I heard. I'm supposed to tell you. What do you do? He said, I work on a small network for a television show in Connecticut. And I thought, okay, well, I had asked for someone to show me if I'm on the right path. I immediately called my husband from my minivan. I got in the minivan. I called my husband. I said, babe, I know you're against this, but I've prayed. I keep seeing it. I think we're supposed to do this. It's going to be amazing. And I think I'm supposed to help heal people. At that point, he was like, this is crazy. I don't know. I mean, he was still nervous, but he was like, okay, I trust you. If you've been asking and this is, I'm like, what are the chances? What are the chances of this happening? We drove all of us out to Connecticut. My kids were so little, like little. We all went to Connecticut. We filmed a little pilot. The gentleman there, his boss did offer me a contract. I said no. Said, no, I don't want your contract. I guess I don't want it bad enough. I didn't like the energy. I didn't like how it felt. I can't believe I said no, even thinking about it to this day. But I took that guy that I was working with. I said, you know what? Leave him and come live in my house and we'll do our own TV show. And he was like, what? You don't know me. I'm like, listen, I feel very strongly about this. I see both of our faces working together. I told my husband, he's going to move in with us. We're going to work on our TV show. We had no representation. It was nothing. I just kept seeing it over and over and over. And he did. He moved in. We went to Target and bought our first camera. We bought a 4K camera at Target. But I'm going to tell you this. Before we walked into the store, he said, Jenny, do you know how much these cameras are? I had 4 little kids. I was doing hair out of my house. Like, I didn't have this kind of money to spend on a 4K camera. I said, listen, I'm going to teach you something right now. I see it, which means it's supposed to be manifested. I think if your soul can see it, no matter how big it is, you've already put it in your path that you're supposed to grab it. You just figure out how to get there. So I said to him, listen, do you want to be on TV? He said, no, I want to be a producer. I said, well, I'm supposed to be on TV to heal people. We're going to walk into this Target and we're going to walk out with a 4K camera because Spirit is going to say yes. I swear to you, they had one. We asked about this one camera. It was a lot, a couple $1,000s. It was a lot. And I said, okay, well, I don't think I can afford that. He said, you know what? We have one in the back. It's broken, but only this one piece is broken. You can have it for $500. We walked out with a camera that day, a 4K camera. We literally just started filming anything. He said, I can't believe that just happened. I said, you watched me. I said, if I'm supposed to have this and I see myself on TV, we'll walk out with this camera for like 75% off. We did it. We filmed everything. Literally just me through the house, through everything. We zero representation. So he says, okay, Jennie, here we are. Now what do we do? I said, don't worry, I've manifested it. It's coming. I see it. It's going to be okay. We're going to find somebody to represent us. We find somebody on the internet. We Zoomed, said, this is our idea. This is what we have so far. Him and I have no idea what we're doing. I've never done anything in TV in my entire life. He sent us a contract that day. 8 months later, we signed with TLC.
Wow. While you were talking, the way that this editing goes is that when you're talking, it shows you. When I'm talking, it shows me. I'm sitting here the whole time listening to you, like shaking my head in utter disbelief at all of the things that lined up. Like there's no clearer message from spirit when things line up that are undeniable that you're supposed to do them. And I love that you said, I don't care who you are. If you see it, it's meant for you. Grab it and find a way to have it.
I tell all my clients that. They're like, listen, I have this crazy idea that I'm going to do X, Y, and Z in life. And I'm like, well, like, are you wishing it? And they're like, no, I felt it my whole life. I'm like, then you will. Then you just have to figure out how to get there. And the universe is going to help you every step of the way. You know what keeps us back? Fear.
Yep. Well, if fear holds us back, Jennie Marie, and you've had so much experience that I feel like you've eradicated the fear, what are the people who are listening? What can they do to help make that fear maybe take a step backwards or have a smaller voice?
That's trusting the process. That's realizing how bad do you want it? How and realizing that it's fear, right? It's find out why you have the fear. Is it irrational? Does it make sense? Is it a past trauma? Do you need to heal it? Is it something you need to heal from before that you haven't yet? Are you afraid of the same thing? Listen, I have a lot of fears. I have a lot of fears. However, it's overcoming and realizing I wouldn't be where I am today if I listened to all the fears. If I didn't figure out meditation, I'm telling you, was huge. Living in that moment, there's no fear when you live in the moment. Zero. You don't have space to have fear. So it was meditating constantly, praying constantly, and saying and releasing, right? I had to surrender control. I'm not in control of timing. I'm not in control of how it works out. Even in my brain, if I have this whole pathway set out, it's never going to happen that way. But the point is making sure that you push to get there and fighting fears little bit. Don't take your biggest fear and be like, oh, and then fall flat on your face and say, okay, it's over, I'm giving up. Take a little tiny one. But the biggest thing is what I tell everyone, you have to celebrate your wins. I don't care how small they are. If you don't celebrate getting over a little tiny fear, then you're going to be stuck there forever, because you're going to pick out the negatives and be like, oh yeah, but that was a tiny win. But you did it. Like, you had to fight through it. Again, I have a lot of fears. I think occupational hazard of the stuff I've heard and thinking that's crazy. However, little tiny ones. I literally celebrate every little thing with my children. I tell them, celebrate this. You were afraid of this 6 months ago and you did it. Even if it seems small now, you did it.
So the celebration, is it just acknowledging it or is it more than that?
It depends. I mean, I'm an Italian New Yorker, so I tend to be over the top about everything I do. However, with my kids, it's acknowledging and saying thank you, right? And a little bit of that reflection. Hey, go back 6 months and say, you know what? I didn't think I could do it, and I did. Again, I don't care how small it is, because you can't grow unless you reflect. You have to be able to say, look how far I've come, to celebrate that moment. I mean, I'm a big girl. We always celebrate with food.
Why not? I'm a big chocolate every day person. I'm celebrating with chocolate all the time.
Good, good.
definitely feeds the soul.
Amen.
So, one of the things I've noticed throughout this interview is that many, many times you've said, I got the chills, I got the chills.
Oh,
And I do that as well. But when you say it, why are you acknowledging it? What does that mean to you?
I say it because it's part of what I do for a living with my readings. I think because so many people are empathic and get messages their own way, right? So we all get chills on some level. So I think, again, left brain, I'm very logistical. I needed a validation system to know that I was right, or I believed I was right, however you want to fight this scientifically. So I said to Spirit, hey, okay, I'm going to start doing readings, but I need you to show me when I'm right, so I know that I'm just not going off into left field. And so that's where the empathic part comes in so strong. So it's now, I have chills right now. When I get it, it's just habit now to say it because everyone understands that empathically you can feel these things and that's how I do it. So to me, it's a double validation. So to me, it's spirit saying, yes, you're right. It's an affirmation and a validation. Like, yes, that's true. But I think other people can relate to it as well.
I think so too. And then when you say it out loud, I feel like you're bringing more of it to you.
Well, it's raising our vibrations. We're honoring it, right? We're acknowledging it. Thank you for this. Thank you for letting me feel it. Thank you for the confirmation. Like I would say to you, it's like spirit giving you a compliment. If you give me a compliment, I'm gonna say thank you. Spirit's like, oh, you did a great job. Thank you.
Oh, that's beautiful. Oh my gosh, I love your energy so much.
Well, thank you.
So we have just started a brand new year, and I know that these videos live in perpetuity, so it could be many years from now when somebody is connecting to it. But is there anything that you're able to share or anything that you've recently received about where we're going, humanity on the whole, the earth, the whole thing, where everybody's talking about AI. Will you share some of your feelings
Mm.
about all of that?
I this is full transparency. I struggle a little bit there because I am emotionally connected to also where are my children going in this world.
Mm.
I do feel like this year is going to be a really great year collectively. I feel like you are right. People have the consciousness has risen. It will continue. I think that people are awake, people see what's going on and want to be a part of all of that networking and loving and energy. I also think the money is going to be really great. And I think money is energy. So I think as we are
Mm.
all raising our consciousness and raising our vibrations, we're also raising how to make money, how to bring it in. It's going to be more fluid. It's going to be easier. I have chills. And a lot of people that are stuck in, finances are a huge thing. And AI, here's the thing about AI, we can't stop it. It's happening. There's nothing we can do. We can only control how we feel. But so you're allowed to control how you feel to this. Do I think it's going to be a big, huge part of our lives? Absolutely. Do I think that it's going to take over? Absolutely not. No. I have chills for that. No, see? And see, that's the other thing. When I get chills when I say it, how can I not listen to that's true? Spirit saying no. But I think financially, economically, energetically, I think with each other as humans, it's going to be a really great year. I'm really excited about this year. But I want to state this as well. I don't believe that your soul starts over on New Year's. I believe your soul starts over on your birthday. I think collectively, as a three-dimensional population, we all are agreeing that this is a new time to start, but individually, your soul is not starting over. We're just all agreeing we're all sharing a new beginning.
Oh, interesting. Tell me a little bit more about believing that your birthday is your new beginning.
So I believe when we come here, right? And I struggle with deaths and births. That's God's domain. It's not mine. Even if you're scheduled for cesarean, I've had this conversation so many times. It still doesn't mean it's going to go the way you want it to, right? I have chills. So I feel like it's really important, but I also think it's a soul thing. So every year on your birthday to me is your new year. You started a whole new soul cycle. I also believe, and nothing in spirit is constant, but I also believe when you have completed your cycle here on earth, you die 45 days before or after your birthday.
Whoa, hold on.
Well,
Hold the
45 to
phone.
60. Let's say 45 to 60 because it's a whole new
Why?
soul cycle. So your soul contract has ended. So now it's like, okay, I've made my soul. Obviously, there are exceptions. I have chills really strong for this. Obviously, there's a whole bunch of things. But so what's happening is instead of starting a whole new one, you have decided before you came back, okay, I'm gonna go near my birthday. There's borrowed time, there's suicide. I mean, there's a lot that could fall into this, accidents. However, for the majority, if you go back and think about your past loved ones and their birthdays and when they've passed, it's crazy.
Oh, cool. That is interesting. I'll have to think about that a little bit more. You also mentioned
Mm.
money just being energy.
Mm.
So people always seem to want to have more of that. It also ties a little bit in with what we talked to before with gratitude and
Yeah.
manifestation. So for the people that are watching, when you say money is energy, what can they do? What do? Will you share a little bit about that?
Absolutely. So if you believe you are meant for more money, then it's coming. It's about the manifestation. Thank you for where I am. Thank you for this opportunity. Thank you for the money coming my way. I don't care how silly or ridiculous you think you sound when you say it out loud. You lose nothing except 5 words. You lose nothing except 10 seconds to say words out of your mouth. And once you start believing that, that's when it starts flowing to you. When you say, I'll never have enough money, you're right. You're telling the universe, I don't want enough money. I don't want enough money for this. I want to struggle with this. I want to be a victim of this for the rest of my life. When you start saying, I'm going to do it and I don't care where the money comes, it'll flow to me. It literally will flow to you. And that's for everyone. Everyone can think of a time where they'd say, I don't think I have enough money, or I want more money, or I'm going to work harder. It doesn't matter. It came to you on some level. We just forget it because it's so not structured, but nothing in spirit is structure. Have you ever said, I need 20 more dollars, and then somehow you get 20 more dollars, or you get a 10 and then you find, I don't care what it is. That's that law of attraction. That's raising your energy. I also believe if you truly believe that you were meant for bigger with money, and take your ego out of it. You have got to release your ego. If your ego's like, I want a Land Rover, whatever, release that, because it's never going to happen. That's just silly. But if you're saying, I want to drive the car that I'm meant to drive, that's a whole different ball game, and you will get that. But once ego's gone is when it starts flowing to you.
Once ego is gone is when it starts flowing to you. And
Mhm.
what's the biggest thing that we can do to help release that ego part?
Stop saying I want a Land Rover. Stop saying I want a $6.4 million house. Stop saying I want to make, don't put a dollar amount on anything. Don't limit yourself. Just say what's meant for me is meant for me, because what's meant for your soul will make you happier than you ever believed. Your mind is going to play tricks on you. Your mind wants to keep up with the Joneses, right? Our ego is like, oh, I need this, I need that. All you say is what's meant for me, I'm ready. The money is flowing. Show me how I'll get that. Show me what will make my soul happy, because it doesn't matter what it is. If it's meant for you and your soul and you're open to it, you'll be happier than you ever imagined.
Wow. Well, I don't know how we can end on anything better than that. That's just like the coup de grace of all the questions. I have had so much fun talking to you, and I would imagine the people that are watching want to connect with you also. So tell us a little bit about how people can work with you, what else you're
Yeah.
working on.
I do my mediumship readings every day, full time. This is it. I love it.
Full time. So when you say full time, how many readings a day do you think you're doing?
I do between 6 and 7, which is a lot.
It is a lot
It is
because
a
when I do these
lot.
interviews, I feel like they take a little bit of energy. And yeah,
4 is my sweet spot. I like to do 4 every day, but then I'm also mentoring. So then I also have 2 to 3 mentoring students that I do every day. I work a 10-hour day, and I do have an assistant and a team, but there's still clerical things that I need to take care of because I want to be connected to my clients. I want that empathic piece. I don't want them to think that they're always talking. So I do have a website, Jennie the Medium, Jennie. I need help on it. Yes, I understand. The easiest way to get in contact with me is to email me, Jennie Marie 714 at Gmail, and it's Jennie. Yeah, I'm doing mentoring. I am working on social media. I am teaching classes. I love to do out in the public like events. I love to travel, go to different states, different cities. So if somebody's interested, I will definitely come there, and might have some other things working in the background that I'm under contract and can't say, but there are some things coming.
Oh, I'm excited. I'm so excited to see more from you.
Thank you.
The
Thank you. I
world,
appreciate
the
that.
world needs more Jennie Marie.
I'm glad you feel that way.
I
Thank you.
do feel that way. Oh my gosh. I say all the time, these conversations feed my soul. I feel
Agreed.
like the luckiest person to be able to sit here and pick your
Oh,
brain and
oh,
get the little gold nuggets that you shared with everybody so that other people can take these and implement them into their lives to do whatever they need with them, raise their vibration, to just be
yeah.
happier in general. So I am so grateful for our time today. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, and thank you for your kind words. But I do hope that I helped somebody, at least someone somewhere out there. But again, thank you for this opportunity and this platform to offer that. And you're a healer yourself, so thank you for what you do.
Oh, and thank you everybody for watching. Next up, check out this playlist of other NDE interviews. Please like and subscribe. It really helps this channel to grow so I can bring you more content. Thank you for watching. I'm so glad you're here.